Hola clase, bienvenidos, welcome back. So today we are going to be learning the ERs and IR verbs. Remember we learned the AR verbs and now I just want to do a quick review. So we're going to first go over all of our verbs and say them out loud. Then we're going to say the definition of each of the verbs, and then I will explain it to you how to conjugate them and how to use them in a sentence, all right? So let's begin by a quick repaso, a quick review. So with the AR verbs, we did yo hablo, see? So let's just say I'm using the word hablar. I have hablar here. As always, we're going to first look at the verb and identify the action. The action of this verb AR is to speak or to talk. So hablar, I identified it's a verb to speak. Now I'm going to identify my ending. The ending of this verb is AR, which we have already learned the AR verbs. So I identify that it's AR. Then now I'm going to identify the stem or root of the verb. The stem or root of the verb. I identified that the stem and the root of the verb is habla without the AR. So I drop my AR and I add those endings. O, so hablo, hablas, habla, and so forth. So if I wanted to say I speak Spanish, I would say hablo español. I speak Spanish. Because this first part of the verb is telling me the action, which is to speak or to talk. This part of the verb, the ending, is telling me who is doing the action. In this case, I am doing the action. So, I speak Spanish. Hablo español. Okay. So now that we did that, we're going to do that same thing with our ER and IR verbs. So, I'm going to move you this way just for a second. Okay, so right here we have escribir, which is one of our IR verbs. And in Spanish, we've learned already that there are three kinds of verbs that we're always going to see for now. We have the AR ending verbs, the ER ending verbs, and the IR ending verbs. We've learned the AR ending verbs. Now we're going to learn both the IR and ER. So let's go over this verb, escribir. Escribir means to write. Again, I identify the action of the verb, which is to write. Then I identify the ending of the verb, which is an IR ending verb. And then when I conjugate the verb escribir, I drop the IR ending and I'm going to plug in these conjugation endings that we're going to go over in just a minute, which will tell me who is doing the action. So let's begin by going over each word that we're learning for this part of the chapter. So, repiten. Aprender. Aprender an infinitive form of the verb. So, aprender means to learn. So, if I want to say, learn to speak. Aprender a hablar, an infinitive form of the verb hablar, which is to talk or to speak. Repiten, beber. Beber means to drink. Comer. Comer means to eat, Comprender means to understand or comprehend. Correr. Correr means to run. deber. Deber means should, but I like to call it to should, just like all of the other verbs that we've learned: to run, to dance, to sing, to talk. To should, if you may. So should plus an infinitive form. So I should study. And I'm going to write the sentence. So let's conjugate the verb together. I should first. So I identify the verb itself, which is deber. I look at the ending. I know it's an ER ending verb. I identify my stem. My root is DEB, deb. I go to the yo form. I should. So debo. Debo. And I said in infinitive form to study, right? I should study. So to study is estudiar. So debo estudiar. Notice that the verb estudiar, again, it's in its infinitive form. Okay, let's keep going. Leer. Leer means to read. Abrir, to open. Asistir a. And the verb asistir a is always going to go with the a, always, even when you conjugate the verb, because it's to attend something. So, for example, asisto a la clase de español. So I attend the Spanish class. Compartir. Compartir is to share. Decidir. Decidir, to decide. And it's always going to go, not always, I'm sorry. It's going to go with an infinitive. So asistir, decidir, hablar, to decide. So I decide to speak. Describir, to describe. Escribir, to write. Recibir, to receive. Vivir, to live. Let's go over the ER and IR conjugation now. So notice that my ER and IR conjugations are very similar. We have, for example, leer, leo, les, le, leemos, lees, leen. Describir. Describo, describes, describe, describimos, describís, describen. Most of the endings, for the conjugation endings, are similar, except for what I put here in the box for you. The hemos, imos, es, is. So, ojo, be very careful when you're conjugating the ER and IR verbs. Although they're very similar in their conjugation endings, the nosotros, nosotras forms do change. And remember, the vosotros and vosotras only in Spain, although you should still be aware of the conjugation endings and how to use it and be able to identify when you see it. We are mostly going to be using ustedes. Okay? And this is all for today. Muchas gracias, clase. If you have any questions or any concerns or you're stuck on something, please never hesitate to call me or send me an email and reach out to me any way that you need to. Okay? Hasta luego. Ciao.